Hey, welcome to the Book Click. My name is Tim. I am an author. I've written 2 books, Rise of the Dragon Witch and The Mice Storm. And I try to offer advice whenever I can. I actually do digital marketing in my day job, so I'm always thinking about how we market and try to hopefully sell our books. So I kind of wanted to cover the reason why people buy books. And so let's jump into it and take a look. Some of these reasons might surprise you, so let's get to it. I'm going to give you a lot of reasons why people buy books. Like I said, I've been thinking about this for quite a while, and it's more than just a couple that we maybe think that triggers them to want to pick that up. There may be the standard ones that you hear, but I want to kind of provide a little bit more in depth. And the reason is because you as an author, sometimes you're in charge of getting your book out there and making sure that book sells. It's just how it is. It's something that indie authors do, traditional authors do. And so it's important to think about all of the things that go into how you can market your book and how you can get people to want to buy it. The first one is the cover. You already know that. You think that the cover is the reason why somebody is going to want to pick up that book and buy it, or it might be the synopsis. Maybe they see the cover and they pick it up, they turn it over and they say, "What's this about?" And that's the thing that people tend to share the most, like on social media and on videos and on their website. There's the cover. There's the synopsis. It's actually not a blurb. I found out the blurb is actually what is called when somebody does their own sort of, like a famous writer gives their testimonial for a book. But anyway, so the synopsis and the cover are the 2 most important things. And I think that there's actually a lot more that we have to consider. There are so many more reasons that they buy a book, and we maybe haven't thought about those. And that maybe once you see this list, it's something that you can start thinking about when you're doing your marketing. So here's the deal. There are about 10 million people that buy 3 books a year in the United States. And I know that's probably more worldwide, but I'm here in the US, and those are the numbers I could find. But about 10 million people out of 375 million people in this country buy 3 books a year. But that doesn't sound as wide open of an audience as you think it is, because most of those people only buy nonfiction books. So that means that there are really only about 100,000 people in this country that buy 3 books or more a year. There are 4,300 books uploaded to Amazon every single day. 4,300. Think about that number. And yours is going to be one of them, and the next one you do is going to be another one of them. And so you're marketing. I'm not saying that we're competing against these other books, but you're marketing your book to get the attention of somebody who likes to buy books, maybe even likes to buy a lot of books. Maybe it's 3 or more, like those 100,000 people that are out there are doing. And not all of those 100,000 people like your genre or, whatever it might be. So that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, the first thing is always going to be your cover. You've got to have a really good, interesting cover that draws in people's attention. The synopsis, again, that's the thing that everybody else, everybody thinks that everybody wants to read about and say that's going to capture their attention. And we spend a lot of time working on our synopsis, and we want to make sure that it's perfect, and it's so hard to do. But I think there's more to it than just that. When there are people looking at books, the reason why they're buying, it could be the title. Maybe the title of your book captures their attention, or maybe it turns them off. Maybe they can't pronounce it or something, and so they say, "Oh, I don't want to check that out. It's going to be filled with all these words I can't pronounce." I don't know. I'm not saying that everything should be pronounceable, but I'm saying think about the title. Another reason why people are buying books and they continue to buy books is because they're already a fan of the author. A lot of people have a built-in fan base, and then when they write the next book and it comes out, people automatically pick it up. So some people will buy a book because they've already read another author's book. The first review I got was actually someone on Instagram who read my first book, and I said, "Hey, I've got another book out." She said, "Send it to me now," and really enjoyed it. But I mean, it's because she already knew my work. She'd already read the first book, it was important to let her know, hey, guess what? I've got another one out there. So, if you've got fans, it's important to do that newsletter. It's important to be on social media and let people know, hey, a new book is coming out. So you might have author fans. Now, here's one that you might not consider besides just the cover. How does your spine look? Is the spine of your book just your name? Does the spine attract people? Is it easy to read from across the room when it's on a bookshelf? A lot of the times when you go into bookstores, or if you see some friend's bookshelf, you're only going to see spine, spine, spine. And is that spine going to pull them in? So when you're thinking about the covers for your book, don't just think about the cover. Think about how the spine's going to look, because they're going to see, one, hopefully the title. We already talked about title. Two, the author name. Maybe it's somebody they've already read. And three, is the title easy to read? Is it easy to check out what maybe that book is going to be about? Think about your spine. Another reason that people might pick up your book is maybe it's got page art. Maybe they open up that book and they see a fantasy map, or they see really romantic graphics inside the interior design of your book. The interior design can actually pull someone in as well. Does it, is the wording easy to read? Is it, super tiny and small and packed? Is there art that's in there? Anything that shows the feeling that maybe they're going to get from reading your book. So don't discount your interior design. So another thing that people will consider is the gender, the color, the sexual orientation, the nationality, the religion, whatever of the author. That actually does matter to some people. It's why maybe some people would opt to use a pen name, perhaps. But it is something that people will consider. Oh, I only want to buy books by such and such, or I don't want to buy books by such and such. So, what you use, whether you have a picture on your book or whether you have an author bio in your dust jacket, something like that. But keep that in mind that people will consider those factors a lot of the times. Another one that I think we place a lot of emphasis on, that's up there with cover and synopsis, are the reviews. Some people ignore the reviews. Some people will buy the book because it's got great reviews. Some people will buy the book because it has terrible reviews. And they think, well, if everybody thinks it's that bad, I'm going to check it out. But reviews do matter. When you get reviews, ask people if you can, hey, can you please put this on Goodreads? Can you please put this on Amazon? Can you please share your reviews with the world? Maybe if they message you on social media, or they tag you in something and it's a review, it's something that other people will see and go, oh, I need to check this out because so-and-so said this is, and they sort of maybe even give you a little bit of a synopsis in their review. And somebody says that might be for me. So don't discount your reviews. Share those on your website. Share those on your, you can actually go in, if somebody doesn't put a review on Amazon, you can actually copy and paste it and put it in your summary. I've done that before as well. So reviews do matter. Make sure that you have them out there. The other thing that people consider are referrals. A lot of the times it's not you, the author, saying, buy my book. It's great. It does this. It's about this. It's got this, whatever. It really sometimes comes down to family and friends. Somebody that you talk to might say, oh, I picked up your book. That's awesome. If you can, tell your friends about it. If you can, do you know anybody else that might like that? Somebody in your family? Yeah, tell them about it. Family and friend referrals are huge because so many people, especially if they trust somebody who's maybe given them a referral in the past. But people buy books based on referrals. They really do. Another thing that's important is actually sometimes the location of the author. A lot of people will buy a book because, it's, I'm here in Columbus, Ohio, and somebody bought my book, or I'm going to buy this book because this author is from Columbus, Ohio. Somewhere, maybe in a bookstore, at a library, they will post up local author sections. And people will buy an author just to support somebody local. So that should be something that you consider in your marketing if you can, or at least just consider that might be one of the reasons they did pick up your book. Another one to consider are awards. Has your book won any awards? I know you see a lot of the times best-selling Times author and this and this and this, but if you've got this kind of an award, you've won this and you've won that, that should be part of your marketing. That should be on your book. That should be on your page listing for like Amazon or Barnes & Noble or whatever it is. enter those awards. Get your book out there whenever you can. I know sometimes there are ridiculous charges to get it in, and then you may not win anyway. But if you can get any kind of recognition for your book, make sure that you market your book as an award-winning book and which award it won. Don't make anything up. Trust me, people will find out about that. But awards do matter. Another thing that people will do, and we don't always think about this, and I think it happens pretty much more at bookstores for the larger traditional publishing books, but people will open up a book to a passage and just start reading. So you want to make sure that your book is good from front to back, because you never know when somebody's just going to flip open to a page and just start randomly reading. The book itself, like I said, the interior design is important, but your words have to be there, your writing has to be there, and that's something that really could spark their interest, and then they just go, oh, this has me. It's not a big boring passage or what, I don't know. I'm not going to give any recommendations, but it is something to think about. Also, the first page. Some people will open a book and just stand there and read the first page. And the other thing that people will do is read the sample that you might have. I do that all the time. But on Amazon, they show you, if you've got an ebook, they will show read sample. And I do this for so many of the people that I follow on Threads. I will, if I see them and I hear them talking about their book, I will click on the link. I will go to their Amazon page and I will read the sample. I will read that first page, that first chapter, whatever it is. And it gives me an idea. Oh, hey, this is a really good book. I've got to put this on my list. And I don't really have a ton of time to read because I'm writing so much, and making videos. But also it's just important to know that people are sometimes going to read your first page, even your first sentence. And that's something to consider when you're writing and when you're marketing. Get that first sentence out there. Get that first page out there. Let people know that this is well written, that this is interesting, that it's going to hook them right away. The other thing that people are going to do sometimes when they look to buy a book is it based on something else? Sometimes the book can be based on a movie. It's the novel adaptation of that movie. Or it's a TV show or something else, but it may be based on a play. It may be based on something else that they were interested in or that they liked. And so that's going to be something that influences them because it was based on something else. So sometimes people only do that. So if somebody doesn't buy your book, it could be because it's a debut novel and they've never heard of you and it's not based on something. So there's not that sort of mental real estate that's already taking up space in their brain, and they think they need to definitely check that out. The last thing that I wanted to kind of have you consider is the book size. People will sometimes buy a book because it's small. It seems like it's a light read. It's 300 pages. I can get through that in a day at the beach. Some people might buy a book because it's huge. They love them a big chunky book. So your book they may spot your book in the wild, but they may not buy your book because it is too big or it is too small or because it's not going to fit well in their bookshelf. Believe it or not, people will not buy a book because it doesn't fit well, and they may only have small paperbacks, and so that kind of thing is something to consider. But I do want you to consider that most of the time when people are buying. All right, have you ever been in the grocery store shopping line and you've seen all the candy bars sitting there? The reason they do that is because you've just been shopping and thinking about food for an hour. And they want to get you that one last purchase right before you check out. They want you to grab that sweet snack. And they do it because based on emotion, people do it all the time. And so people buy on emotion. They may see your cover and they may see your interior design and they may see the size of the book and they may see something that, whatever it is that I've just mentioned that grabs their attention, they're overwhelmed with emotion. It's not logic that's going to sell your book most of the time. It's not. As much as you may say, I can create a perfect 2-sentence synopsis of my book and show them the cover, it's not going to do it. How can you sell your book using emotion? How can you pull them in, give them an emotional reason to want to buy your book and to want to read it? Be thinking about that when you're marketing. How can you make it more emotional And it doesn't just mean show them a section of the book that'll make them cry, although that might actually work. But yeah, just try to think about it in your marketing. What's an emotional tale you can tell about your book that will pull them in and get them to click buy? All right, that's all I've got for now. If you can, please subscribe to this channel. It really does help it grow. It shows YouTube that people are interested in the content. If you can, like the video if you got anything out of it. Again, more likes you get, the more that YouTube will show the video, and it helps the channel. It gives me a reason to keep making videos. And leave a comment down below. Again, if they see interaction on videos where people are commenting, even if it just says, hey, thanks for this, or you're an idiot, it helps the channel. So I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe, like, and comment. And we'll be back with more author interviews and hopefully some more advice real soon. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will catch you next time.